Hey, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is Popping Culture. My guest today is the hilarious Tara Brown, very funny comedian. If she's in your city, please go see her. Thank you so much for coming on to the movie review.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. Happy to be here.
All right. We're going to be reviewing Rocky 3. This will be a 100% spoiler review. But before we spoil the movie, Miss Brown, do you believe they should watch it?
100% you should watch it because Rocky is so inspiring. It's my favorite out of all the Rocky movies. So definitely give Rocky 3 a shot.
I completely agree, guys. You should definitely watch it. Everything past this point will be 100% spoilers.
Yes.
Uh, Before we get into it, I just wanted to get for anybody in the audience, anybody listening, watching they don't know, could you explain to them how popular Mr. T was at this time?
Oh my gosh, Mr. T at the time, you think about that mohawk was just like so iconic. I don't think we've ever seen anyone really, and especially a black man rocking a mohawk. So it's just like, who is this black man with the mohawk? And then he was on a very popular show at the time called The A Team, where he played B.A. Baracus, I believe was his name. And so he was just at the height of his fame. That's the one thing I think that Rocky 3 did. It got a lot of people at the height of their fame. Also, a cameo appearance in the movie was Hulk Hogan, WWE wrestler Hulk Hogan. And again, he too could not have been more popular at the time when he was in this film.
Yes. Uh, so to get from the second one to the third one, Rocky has become a champion. And did you like the way they showed that, like, not only did he become a champion, he was still fighting. Like, he didn't just like become the champ and like retire. Like, he kept fighting.
You know, the interesting thing about it is he thought he was fighting real fights, but his manager was kind of throwing him kind of softballs. And, Rocky got an inflated sense of ego because he was beating these guys who, what he didn't realize is that, of course, he was going to beat him. The interesting, what I love about how this movie opens up, right? In Rocky 2, we see Rocky winning and he's still, of humble means. Rocky 3, the checks started clearing, right? And the money was flowing. And I love the opening scene where they show him, and he's at the height of his fame. He's doing, commercials for American Express. He got him with I think it was a Maserati or something like so. You have this opening sequence that kind of says he's on the Muppet Show. You got him doing all of these great things that a person at the height of their fame is doing. And I think a lot of times when that happens, it's just like, again, you can start thinking, I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Nothing can touch me. And so, and then you also see his brother-in-law who had been with him and who had, come from those humble beginnings. You see his jealousy, you know, uh, sneaking in, which happens a lot of times, right? Like, one person does well, another one maybe not so much. And, jealousy sometimes can get the better of you. So, it was interesting to see it open up with a lot of different themes.
Yes. The other thing, and I'm pretty sure you noticed too, from the second movie where he couldn't do commercials.
Oh,
Now
yes.
he's learning to talk. He's
Yeah,
dressing better.
exactly.
I was like, this ain't the same character from the first two
They got
movies.
him a
That's
voice
what.
coach and everything or something.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
this is a whole different character. Now I didn't know Money
Mhm.
did that. Money.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
you know how you know where to use the apostrophe now when you make some money. But
Okay, exactly. That's exactly right.
yes. And I think one of the biggest things, just bouncing around with the film, what I really enjoyed, and I hope that we both get to experience one day, is that when you come from humble beginnings to get that much, you appreciate it more than anything else. So he really is, when he expresses and later on in the movie where it's like, I don't want to lose this. I know what it
Yeah.
feels to be at the bottom. I think everybody can resonate with that.
Yeah. It's like when you're not used to having something and then you get something, it can be intoxicating. It also can cause you to miss some things and to let your guard down in a way that you shouldn't. And we see that with him, how he didn't take his training seriously, right? Like, he, again, going on the belief that he was beating all these guys they put in front of him. And then here comes Clubber Lang, who's like ready and hungry. And his manager, Mickey, was like, no, this guy's the real deal. And Rocky's like, what? I beat everybody else. He goes, no, no, no. This dude is different. So even when he was training for what he was, promoting as his last fight, he wasn't taking it seriously. So he let his guard down. he again started believing his own press, as they say. And I love that kind of side by side scene they do, where they show Rocky really not taking his training seriously, and then Clubber Lang just really hard and raw, and going old school with the training. I thought that was really smart the way they did that.
Yes. The biggest thing is the way Clubber Lane went and got the fight. He didn't just wait
Oh,
around. He had to go up there during the press conference, yell
woohoo!
at him just to get the fight. And like you said, Mr. T was like apparently super famous. Did you know he had a
Yeah.
cereal? I found out he had cereal apparently.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's so funny when you get to that level of fame, right? It's just like the world becomes open because it's so funny. You said the cereal. I totally forgot about that. But it's like when you're at the height of your fame, they will just back up the Brinks truck to your house and give you all the money and opportunities that you can stand. So yeah, I forgot he had cereal. But even when he came in and challenged them at the press conference, then he went and tried to, you like, listen, you're a man, so I'm sure you can speak to this. That's like, you don't, the way you want to get at another man is like disrespect their woman, right? And
Yeah.
that's what he did. He got there and disrespected the man's woman. Like, oh, it's on now. So yeah, I thought that press conference thing was just so great.
Yes. Yes. Because
Hey
it was.
woman, look at me. Hey woman. I was like, oh God, it's fucking me on.
Yes, it was like the way I compare it is the first two films they had Apollo Creed and that was an African American, and then
Don't say
that
it.
guy.
Don't say it.
Okay, all right,
Don't
okay,
say it. I know where you're
yes,
going, but don't say
yes,
it.
ma'am. Okay,
Don't say it. I got
yeah,
you. I got you. Mhm,
yes, ma'am.
mhm.
And
Yeah,
is
a
that
Cumberland was not as refined as Apollo.
no? It was just
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Um, uh, but I like the first fight the way like they made it quick too, which I
Yeah.
thought that was a good idea. Just like we don't need to stretch this out. We already know later on in the film we're gonna give him a rematch the way they wrote it. Um, and before he fought, of course, you spoke about the whole Hogan fight scene. I of course Hogan was a big deal, but was he like kind of like towards the tail end of his career when this movie came out? Because he looks a little
No,
bit older. Okay.
no, Hulk Hogan was really it's funny you're talking about him now. I don't like him now because he's had some sort of things come out a few years back that are questionable to me. But
He makes a lot of home movies too.
yeah, exactly. No, at the time he was at the height of his fame. One thing I will say, I'm a big wrestling fan. I don't know if you follow me on social media. I love wrestling,
Yeah.
love WWE specifically. They do a really good job of like churning out megastars. The Rock, John Cena, before that there was Hulk Hogan. What The Rock is on a whole other level with it right now, but you think about how The Rock is in this day and age, that's kind of what Hulk Hogan was in his day. He didn't have, as many as the opportunities, but he was as big during that time as you say Rock is now. So
Okay.
yeah, no, he was at the height of his fame. He really was.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
I thought
underlit in the movie.
I
But
thought it was
one of my favorite parts of that scene too is like he goes, uh he's coming down the ring, coming down the aisle, and Rocky turns to Mickey and goes, why are they carrying him? He goes, they're not carrying him, he's walking. And then he goes, what do you think he eats? And he goes, and then Mickey goes, about 207 pounds. And then the ring announcer goes, and next in the ring, weighing 207 pounds. Rocky Balboa, it was so funny. I love, again, to me, it's the lines in the movie that make me laugh. Here's the thing, too, about the movies, and let's be very clear, they're super duper predictable. You're not going to go in saying, oh, I didn't see that coming. They're very predictable. So if you go in thinking you're going to get some big revelation, you're not. They're just feel good movies, and that's basically what this is. A franchise is a feel good franchise.
exactly. Yeah, I thought that was cleverly. I mean, it was funny.
Yeah,
Another thing, I like the way they deliver the lines because
yeah.
it's like you can write something funny, but to make sure they say it and they deliver it funny was
Mhm.
very
You
well
know, as
done.
comedians, right?
Yeah.
Timing is everything,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Apollo. I feel like Apollo just teaches him how to fight. Like you finally see somebody go like, "Hey, you should actually dodge." You know.
Well, Apollo told him, say, you fight great, but I'm a great fighter. you know. Um, yeah, that scene. that's the other thing I loved about 3 so much is that brotherhood formed. Here are two guys who in 1 and 2 battled each other and then walked away at the end of 2 with the mutual respect for one another. And then when Clubber Lang disrespects Apollo, it's just like, ooh, that just scene. It's just like when he slaps his hand. I don't want no paper champion in my corner. And Apollo just looks at him and it just stares at a hole in him. And then you have that little kind of thing with them. And then Apollo doesn't say anything and walks away and then tells Rocky, do everybody a favor and drop this chump. It's just great lines in the movie.
Yes, one line that it caught me off guard because it was never presented in the first two films, and they don't like follow up with it. Do you remember when they first go? Apollo takes them to the gym, and it's fully like nothing but black
Oh,
people in the gym,
yeah.
and Polly says, "I don't like these people." And I remember the first two movies where he's working with black people. So when he says it, it's just like, where did this line? Why is this here? Because they never bring it up again.
But you know what's funny? Paulie was always inappropriate. Like he was all he always he just always was Paulie. Like it's just and you gotta think he probably, he wasn't accustomed to being around people of color and whatever. And up until that point, you think about it, they came from their, hard working class Italian neighborhood, probably didn't have to be exposed. And that was the first time. And then I think that was the point too, Apollo was telling Rocky, you've been sheltered. Mickey has protected you all these years. You need to see what real hungry fighters look like. And these dudes are hungry. And so I think it was great. Paulie, I think, and he again was comic relief, right? Because then, you have to have those moments. But when he said, I don't like these people, he goes, well, maybe they don't like you. He goes, what I
Yep.
do to them? So it's just, you can't take him. I didn't take him too seriously.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, last fun fact. In the beginning of the movie, when he breaks that pinball machine, apparently they only made 1,500 of those. So like
Is that
apparently
right?
if you buy one now, you got to spend a good bit of money.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. Wow, I didn't know that. Mhm.
And like you brought up earlier about Adrian giving him the speech on the beach.
Yeah.
I really thought they made her a way better character in this movie. Like I feel like they made her really weak in the first two, but this one it was just like she's gonna speak her mind and she's gonna like let him know.
And this is why I absolutely love 3. We got to see so much of her personality. The glasses came off. She had more form-fitting clothes. She spoke her mind. She stood up to her man. She had his back. She was like, Apollo thinks you can do it. So do I, but you need to want it. And it gives me goosebumps. And then again, that whole thing when when it turns around for him and then he's just, hitting his stride and doing what he needs to do. And she's just sitting there proud as a peacock. I adore Adrian. Adore her.
The fight montage.
Yes.
What do you think of this one?
Okay, this one 3, Eye of the Tiger. See, this one, yeah. Oh, when he says he's pissing Clubber Lang off and making him hit him, and everyone's like, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, he's what do you say? He's not getting strong, he's getting mad. Because what Rocky knew is that this is a big, strong guy, but he doesn't have the stamina
Yep.
to go the distance. And so you're sitting there like, why are you letting this man punch you in your face like that? But he was smart and he thought about it. So he allowed Clubber to wear himself out, and then he came back and kind of got the win. And again, go back, Rocky is life. It's just like, you have to have it, everything is a marathon, not a sprint, right? So people can think I'm just gonna come in here and doom and do what I gotta do, and I'm not gonna put the work in. But you gotta put the work in, right? You gotta get your conditioning up because boxing is not just about being strong and hitting people, but it's about having stamina and going the distance. So I love this montage. I feel like this montage, it's not so much the montage of the fight scene, but the scene when after Mickey dies and he goes out and he's having these moments. Gosh, I can't think of the name of the song. There's no easy way out.
Yes.
There's no easy way out from 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that was from 3. And so, and you see the scenes flashing back. And there's a great moment. I love this little moment in that. And that scene, that montage, where they're showing his two fights with Apollo. And there's a scene where Apollo hits him and he goes down and he gets back up like, I'm ready, let's go. And Apollo just looks at him and like puts his head down like, what is it going to take? And I love that quick little moment because again, it speaks to you can be down, but you're never really out. And I love it.
Nice, nice. The pacing on this film, did you enjoy it?
Liked it. I did like it. I agree with you that I do like that the first fight was quick and we knew it would be because again, let's say when I saw it then, obviously it was just like, oh my goodness. Looking back on it, you're like, yeah. The funniest thing, funny, I'll use the word loosely, about this movie to me is that how in the world did they not get Mickey to the hospital in time? Right? The guy hits him, he falls back. Rocky done went, what, 2-3 rounds? What do you got? Rocked out in the first round. Was it first round? I think it was first round.
Yes, ma'am.
First round. You mean to tell me in a place where they got doctors, nobody couldn't get him to the hospital in time? So to me, that was a little like, okay,
Yeah.
I get this is pulling on the strings, but this is a little drastic. Somebody could have got Mickey to the hospital.
They had a deleted scene where you saw the life insurance.
Really?
No, I'm joking. I'm
like, what?
No,
that's so funny. That's so funny. And I'm like, so that's the only thing. If I had to have any criticism about it, I'm like, they could have got Mickey to the hospital. But I think the dramatic part of it was him coming back, and that was just like, oh, like he could have been to the hospital. So I was okay with the pace, and I actually was.
Nice,
and
nice.
I love, like I said, all the stuff with Rocky and Apollo. So great, which also was perfect because then it set up I thought really well, Rocky 4 really well.
Like I said, I know at this point in history, I don't believe CD players were a thing, but I know cassette players were a thing at this point.
Big, yes.
When yourself or one of your friends, did you like know of people like they played like the music from the songs like when they worked out or anything, or I guess
Oh my
Jim's
gosh.
played it?
Yeah, it was so iconic. Like dun, dun, the Eye of the Tiger. Man, listen. Eye of the Tiger, Gonna Fly Now. There's No Easy Way Out. That's the other thing that I think is great about this movie is the music. It was such good music. And it was so Eddie Murphy had a again, I go back to Eddie Murphy. He had a great joke where he talked about how after Italians saw Rocky, they just really started feeling themselves. And so it's just like I think it was very inspiring, and people blasting the music from their cars and whatever.
Was this song popular before Eye of the Tiger, or this song
No,
made okay?
I think for me, I hadn't heard of. I think the group is Foreigner Journey, one of the groups. I had no clue about the song. The movies made the songs for me, for sure.
Okay,
I
I
would
didn't know that
love to
was
see what
Journey.
huh?
I didn't know that was Journey. That's Journey.
I think it's Foreigner.
Okay.
I think it's Foreigner. I'm pretty sure Foreigner, not Journey.
Okay.
Pretty sure Foreigner. But I would love to see what some of those residual checks look like.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
Yeah, some great grandkids are living good.
Exactly.
Right now. Yes.
Jeez, that was smart.
So we get to the end, and of course, Rocky does win and become the champion again. Looking at the ending, did you think a fourth movie was coming or no?
I think a fourth movie was coming because I just thought the franchise was doing good. Not from a perspective of they ended the movie in a way that would lend itself to a fourth one coming. I think nowadays when we see movies, we could say, oh, I could see another one. Like in the sense that I could see them kind of continuing this on. I don't think back then those movies were set up that way. I don't think they went into it thinking we're going to make a movie and end it in such a way that once you want another movie. I think what happened then back in the day was like, this movie did what now? How much money did we bring in? Okay, let's find a way to make Rocky 4. I honestly believe in my heart of hearts. I don't think I left the theater thinking, oh yeah, there's going to be a fourth one. I just think this was based on economics, and good for them because they made $1 gazillion on this franchise.
Exactly. They would like it's still some water on that rag.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
1 through 10, what would you give this movie?
Well, for me, 3 is my favorite. So I will give, because I'm not going to give anything a 10 because that's perfect. And I said, like I said, they could have taken Mickey to the hospital quicker. This for me is an 8.5. I'll
Nice,
give it an
nice.
8.5.
I completely agree. Dumb
Mhm.
question, but I gotta ask: do you believe that this movie has become a part of pop culture?
I think the franchise has. I don't say I'm one of it's funny because everyone knows me, knows that 3 is my favorite. Everyone's like, no, 4 is my favorite. And then it's really weird because how can a movie, the third iteration of a movie, be your favorite when there's the first one, right? That sets the foundation. So I wouldn't say, I don't know that this movie per se, number 3 does, but I think the franchise um had an impact on pop culture. You just think about, even you think about Italian Americans, right? It gives them a sense of pride. Here is someone who they could believe in, you know. And I think again, this is I always say next to Jesus Christ is the best rags to riches story I know. You know what I mean? And such a good thing to watch. You got that one, got him.
Yes.
You know, you think about it, right? So no better one than Jesus, but I'm just saying this is a good backup. But you know, you watch someone come from nothing. But you think about it, you watch somebody come from nothing, achieve a lot, and then get nothing again. And how do you handle those ebbs and flows of life? So for me, I think it does impact pop culture because it could just show you, you know, how to handle the bumps and bruises of life, how to handle success, how not to handle it, you know, and just how to appreciate what you have and the people around you and the people who ride with you.
Nice, nice. Um, well, thank you so much for coming on the movie review. Is there anything else you
Thank
would like to
you.
say about the third one?
No, I want to thank you so much for having. And listen, I've never spoken this long to anyone about Rocky 3 because no one ever asked me. So I love that you allowed me to talk about it and talk to you about it. And thank you for watching it and being able to have a great conversation with me. So thank you for having me and thank you for doing this podcast. I think I am very impressed with what you're doing and just the guests that you have on, and you do a great job. And thank you for letting me be one of your
Oh,
guests today.
thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. And guys, please, please follow her. Can you tell them where they can follow you on social
Oh,
media?
yes, at Tara Brown Comedy. Tara, Brown like the color, comedy. You can kind of see it in my background, but maybe not. Tara Brown Comedy.
Yes. And please, please, like I said, guys, if she's in your city, please, please go see her. She's
Thank
hilarious.
you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and have an amazing day.